Before you hire people that are smarter than you, follow this 3 steps plan. I promise that after this video, you will be able to hire people that are smarter than you. And also to make your network just a literal cheat code to get better and better. And the way that I'm going to do it, I'm going to tell you the stories, give you the data and lessons, and then I'm going to give you a secret of mine. So hiring people that are smarter than me started literally when I was young, because I realized that in collaborations, I get the benefit. So I was in this neighborhood, I was about 12 years old, 10 years old. I was in this neighborhood and we were 13 men playing all the time in our neighborhood. I realized that with me collaborating with the strong people, smart people, sometimes rich people, but I didn't do that. But it's like the people that have more knowledge and have the unfair advantages, I will literally get the unfair advantage just by a consequence of association. I was like, okay, this is awesome. Because we were 30, the rules applied here are literally the same. So it was a small replica of what happens years later. And it will all make sense in a second. So what I was doing at the moment is literally just starting these connections, even that a lot of them didn't want to be connected with me. I always was the guy to be like, oh, hey, what's happening with your life, asking about them, learning more about them. Even if that means that they will not love me, I'll just learn and get the benefit of association. And most likely, it is at least I will get the inside knowledge. So these people, some of them were ultra rich. I'm telling you, like generational wealth. Some of them were strong. Some of them were, actually, when I say strong, we're talking about kickboxing, regional champions. It's not like some bullshit. It's really like big deals. We had people who trains all the time. We had people who are smart. We had people who are just doing nothing. We had people who are fearful, all the traits, right? I realized that when I literally connect with the biggest, the smartest, the better, I get the benefit of at least getting an insider knowledge of what they have going on in their lives. So as an example, I'm going to give you an example. So there was this guy who has this generational wealth, okay? And he had all the equipment. We're talking about advanced. So there it was like PlayStation, stuff like that, which I have no clue about how that, at the time, it's like, dude, this is like crazy stuff. It's like expensive. How did you get that? But the thing is, I was always getting that inside information to always have that in my mind. So when I talk to other people or just general knowledge, like in life, I always know how to speak. But that actually portrayed itself in the first times, like when I met this guy. So at first it was not good. I thought he was a bully. I actually fought with him the first time. And then we sort of made it up and became quote unquote friends. I realized that this guy, I give him what he wants, which is basically a film, his Instagram posts. But at the same time, he also helps me with what I want. And he is literally like my teammate. So when I want to film a video, he can film me. Although I have to convince them, and it's sometimes harsh because I always challenge him in uncomfortable situations, but still, he was my guy. So that was all preparations to what happens next. So, if you want to hire anyone who is smarter than you, do this one thing. Look for them. Because you have to comprehend is that if there's someone who is smarter than you, you have to define what that means. Is he, let's say, in higher educational than you? Is he older than you? Is he younger but smart and knows about all the technologies? Does he have specified knowledge, general knowledge? Does he live in your city? Is he a virtual assistant? All of those stuff, depending on who you are, okay? For me personally, like the answers were, well, he has to live in my city because everything that I do is basically in my city. Then he has to have specified knowledge. I don't give a fuck about general knowledge because it cannot help me. Really, it's like if he knows everything about everything, probably he will not help me. But if he knows one thing, which is what I want, he will help me the most. Then I realized that he has to believe in my dreams. If he does not believe in my dreams, there is no point of me associating with them if he will just sabotage me all the time. then he has to have long-term goals. So he does not only have to be like, okay, I believe in what you do, but also he has to look for long-term. So not only short-term. I realized that he has to be loyal. And these things are really like not common. And usually when you write it down too, you find that most of these things are uncommon. And that's why it's hard and not everyone gets it. So the way you want to do it is describe everything. I just told you here like the importance, right? But also you have to look how he looks, right? You have to write it down. How he looks, how he talks, and the first time I heard this is like, are you serious right now? Literally that quote from iShowSpeed is like the best streamer in the world. It's literally that. And here I'm not joking. I said it. When I first heard it, I didn't believe what's happening. I was like, this is bullshit. But I did it anyway, which is like the stuff that you have to learn too. It's like you have to learn to do stuff anyway. No matter what you do, no matter what you think. And that's why Layla, who is Layla Hormozi, she's the wife of Alex Hormozi, she has like this big slogan, apparently on Instagram. It's called "Fuck your feelings, follow the plan." And there's like a million people that tag her every day just saying that slogan. It's very effective because literally just fuck your emotions, follow the plan. That's what you do. So write down what I'm telling you. It's like write it all down. Like in details, like if you're writing a poem, in details, everything. And the thing about me is like I did this in Mars. So in Mars, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna write. I want to hire this person, and this person, and this person that I think at this moment will be the best. Although I didn't comprehend what that means. So I was like, okay, I want this guy who knows 1, 2, 3. He looks like 1, 2, 3. And he is X, Y, and Z. It's like whatever, everything I'm telling you. And I actually documented it. And I just, just wiped the whiteboard about 1 or 2 days later. The whiteboard, I had to write other stuff. The thing is, I wrote it on Mars. So April, nothing. May, nothing. June, nothing. July, nothing. September, about September, October, I just found the guy. And it was like, what is happening? It's like, I didn't realize that. But at some point, this guy is literally who I wrote in that whiteboard about 6 months ago. And I didn't even believe the whiteboard. I just wrote it down as a practice. Because I know the guy who said it, he's literally a millionaire or multi-millionaire, at least. So of course I'm gonna do it. And the thing is, it literally worked. So it's like based on my data and my experiences, it's the best practice. And look, and if you still don't believe, because this is also a thought that I had, I was like, I don't believe in people as much as I believe in ideas. So, I've seen this quote when I was young on Facebook. It says, so dumb people discuss people. Medium people discuss actions. Smart people discuss ideas. So when you want to speak with people, don't criticize them, criticize their ideas. That's bullshit. That's one. It's like I've tried it and I fucking lost 1 year of my life. Yep, that's what happened. It's like I literally lost 1 fucking year of my life. So when I was crying, my mother was crying, my family was crying, nobody was with me. So fuck those people. I'm gonna fucking do whatever I want. That's one. 2, you have to comprehend that the most successful people that I met in my life don't believe in ideas. They believe in one thing, people. Elon Musk, people. Steve Jobs, people. Michael Jordan, dude, at the time, like in his prime, people. Khabib, people. Conor McGregor, people. All of them, they believe in people. So I'm like, okay, all of them, they believe in people. So where's that quote that I've seen on Facebook? It's by nobody. It's by fucking pages that want to get followers. That's what it is. And the thing is, you realize that at some point, and I realized that when I really found my best connections so far in my life. So I started making YouTube videos about 8 years ago. About 5-6 years in, I realized that I met one connection who is like-minded, all of the stuff that I said. And at the same time, he's also a YouTuber. He has more experience than me, more time, and he's older than me. And we collaborated. The results of that collaboration, up to this date, it's literally unmatched. Because I had specified knowledge, I knew everything about the algorithms, what you should do. I had like great perception. I had the perspective that is new, like in the field we're getting in. And him, he had that practical side, which I didn't have at the time. He was more practical, more social. He knew more people, more places. He had more of the insider knowledge. So for me, I had one thing, he wanted what I had, and he had one thing, I wanted what he has. So we were not only exchanging knowledge, but at the same time, we were literally collaborating. So we both create content. I film him a video, and he films me a video the next day. And it's both the same idea. We upload it. One gets 3 million views, one gets like 1 million or 700,000 views. It's a win. He was averaging about few thousands on YouTube. At the time, I started my channel from scratch. And look what's the difference. So when I say connections are real, it's just the realest thing ever. And that's why Steve Jobs talks about this. In this interview early on, he says, really your job as a founder is really just to connect and find the network. And you don't need 100 people. You just need 10 people that have specified knowledge and they are great at what they do. They're just so great. They have great knowledge about the latest of technologies. They have everything. So you don't have to tell them what they do. They just do it. And he said that's your job as a founder. And that's really like precious. And the same thing goes with Elon Musk. I see Elon Musk not talking about this publicly for one reason or another, but privately he always speaks about this, and you see that mentioned in the book. Because when he was in the transition between South Africa and going to Canada and the US, he always believed in people. Whether that be in him, whether that be in his father, it's like whether believe or not believe, okay? It's like those stuff. His family members, his cousins, his brothers, and later on, so when he went to Canada and the US, he believed in his mentor, the people that were starting the startup with him, stuff like that. Is that he was looking so much, it's like they literally, him and his brother, they did a cold outreach to find a mentor. They read the newspaper and they were like, oh, this guy is very good. You know what I'm gonna do? It's his brother. He said, we're gonna call him. Elon Musk was like, dude, this will never work. And they called him. Like few days later, they were having a coffee with him. And this is Elon Musk very early on. I'm pretty sure this is before he even starts X or PayPal right now. So it was that early on. He was still in college. He was still doing if you've read the book or you know his biography, he was still doing those gigs when he was making parties in his apartment, etc., etc. So those things are really like that, what makes the difference, especially in earlier on in the career. So when we're speaking about like networking and connections and how to make anyone your friends, it's tricky because you want to do it fast, but most people don't accept that. They don't want to let anyone in their lives. But your job as a founder, your job as a person that really pursues what he wants, you have to accept that because everyone is different and they're grown men, so they do whatever they want. They take the responsibilities for it. But also you have to comprehend that you have to do certain things to get what you want. So if that means I'm going to talk to a person that I know he's a great match, I'm probably not just going to let him do whatever he wants. It's like I'm going to literally give him what he wants. So make a good impression, not being slave, okay? That's also like something you shouldn't do. But usually when you are in this situation, you will not, because you already put enough volume. You've met with so many people. You rejected most of them. And when I say rejected, it's like just don't ever talk to them. It's like, sure, you can get their contacts, but you don't ever talk to them. So these things are really tricky. because even if they don't want you, it's like you have to also like get the benefits, like whether that be in vibration, thought, energy. And usually those networking also get the benefits by being with you, because that's how our social life works. You know, usually who you wants to be in your network, he also, even if he doesn't want to be in your network, he gets the benefit of being in your network. And also it's like a sales process of itself. So that's why I think Steve Jobs, so if there's one thing you have to comprehend about networking before you meet anyone or hire anyone, is literally what Steve Jobs said. When he said you have to look for networking and individuals' talent as a founder, what he meant is that your job is not to look for customers, is look for the people that bring you customers. So for him, his customers are the employees. And this is something, the same thing goes for McDonald's. It's literally, the logo is right there. For McDonald's, for Starbucks, all of those franchises, usually their main customers are not the customers that literally buy the food. Their customers are the employees. How like literally everyone knows about Starbucks or McDonald's, someone literally works there. It's like you knew someone, or you know, a connection, because they have good environments, they take care, it's known, everybody knows how it is like to work at McDonald's or Starbucks. So it's these things that makes the difference. And obviously when we're talking about McDonald's, we're talking here the big stuff. Obviously when it comes to downs, like if there's let's say someone who's working at McDonald's, now his job is to acquire customers, take care of customers, etc., and customer satisfaction. But as the business owner, business founder, your job is literally just to network. And in this case, you have to treat your employees, you have to treat your network, even if you don't have employees. It's like at first you cannot hire people, so you have to pay them with something back, right? Whether that be in value, whether that being just support. Sometimes it's just the connection, right? There is talents that just want something else. It's like, let's say if you make content, you get views, let's say you get X amount, let's say you get 1,000 views, let's make it simple. You get 1,000 views, and this guy who's very talented, he gets 50 views. And you're like, okay, so with our association, I will help you and give you the benefit of my 1,000 views, and you will get the benefit. So you will get this benefit, and you don't usually talk about what you will get, you just talk about what he gets, because it's a sales process. But you know that what you get is the talent and him being associated with you, so you have the access to his knowledge and his literal skills. So he is a talent that you have to acquire and actually take care of. So I knew this principle, and here I'm going to give you, so if there is, oh wow, this is big. So if there is one mistake that you should never make when networking or hiring, is this. So when I started like networking, when I was building the brand, I networked with this guy who is a finance student. He was awesome. I met with him with preparation for med school, and he was awesome. And the thing is, I didn't go all in as I'm speaking and like literally telling you the volume is the most important thing. For him, I literally just was like, it's like, what do you do? He was like, I make YouTube videos, you know, or I did make YouTube videos. At some point, I was like, dude, you just join me. And that was it. And the thing is, when I think about it, it's like you see One Piece when Luffy was like, Zoro, you should join me. It was like that perception. That was what I thought would work in real life. And it doesn't work like that, right? It's like, that's anime. This is real life. Real life, you have to do volume. You have to talk to 100%. From those 100 people, there is one of them that will suit you best. And it will literally give you the highest ROI. You understand? So I met with this guy. It's like, you know, okay, he's the best one that I can find right now. He will give me that benefit that he knows. Like, he has an experience. Like, he filmed the video. He knows how is it like, whatever, and I don't give a fuck about what's his level. I was like, okay, this is sure. This is better, and he loves what... It's easier to convince someone that does what you do, in what you do. I was like, okay, let's do this. A couple months in, we were like, you know, making the videos, and although I was not making money, I was making sure that I take care of him as much as I can. I'm not telling you like crazy amount of money, but for someone who doesn't make money, it's just like that $5 that I give him, from time to time, it's actually worth a lot, because I know that now I'm pouring all of this money into the business, I'm actually not getting my time back or the return on investment. And this is something that even Elon Musk has faced when he was starting PayPal or X. He found that mentor that I told you about earlier. He literally found a mentor, but the thing is, he didn't want to risk it all and become his partner, so he does not get paid for like 2 years, because that's literally what startups is. So then Elon Musk said, well, then you want to get paid? He said, yeah, I have to get paid. So he got paid. But that was the biggest mistakes, because that's the cost of not being a partner, not taking the risk. When you take the risk, now you are a partner, right? You're the literal partner in the business. You have equity. It's partner. It's different than being an employee. So being an employee, from day one, he was paid, because he was paid this great salary in his old job. Now he didn't want to make the transition and risk it for 2 years. So he got paid, and I'm pretty sure in the book, the author says that was big, huge mistakes, and that's the cost for actually not taking the risks, because that's what means being a partner or a CEO or a founder is you take all the risks. So if you're not willing to take the risk with me, you can't become a partner. So that's one thing. It's like when I did that, so the months passed by and it was really like doing my best. I'm not going to say it was the best, but it was definitely something, okay? Especially for that stage of the business. And I figured out that, well, he's going to go to college. At the time, I dropped out of college. And I found out that his schedule is full all the time. And he really doesn't have any time to film me or to make content with me. Even that I was building his character in my videos and my content. And we really realized that I made the biggest mistake in my history. It was about networking. And luckily at the same time I found that best network, so it's kind of like made up. But the thing is, not every time you get lucky. And the thing is that networking, although it gave me good benefits, I'm not gonna lie. We made so many millions of views, okay? We got together, but the thing is, also the ROI is not worth it. So if I go back, I would really prefer, so it's like, look, just do one thing. If there is one thing that you have to care about when networking, don't rush. And also, like, if you want to rush for volume, not in acquiring the talent. So as an example, instead of just looking for 2 people and be like, oh, this is awesome, you're just so suited. If you miss it on the second guy, think about who you will meet when you see 100 guys. So always go for volume. Like, meet 100 people. You can even make it a task. Meet 100 people, see who they are, and look from that 100 people, maybe you'll get 1 or 2 that match. And if it is hard, like, there is some states that it's hard, really. Especially if it's a niche of a niche, then you might go for 200, 300, but it usually takes about 1%, so 100 you can find one who is at least closer to what you want, and then you can play and do whatever you want from there. So it's like whether you want to continue doing volume, which is the optimal, even if you find the talent, or if you find the talent, it's like now you have to train, hire, recruit, stuff like that. Or if you want to make him join the networks, like how the relationship will go, etc., etc. And at the same time, you have to always be for the lookout doing more volume, because something is like churn always happens, which is what happened to me with that network that I just told you. So what you've seen here, I promise, as I promised, you can just right now go on, get any network you want, the way you want it, the time you want it, and you will have literally no boundaries. And what you've seen here today, you can never unseen. So you might as well subscribe, right?